Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Kuriboh deck profile for July 2014. A while back I made this deck. It's a sort of fun deck for you guys, and it actually kicked off in popularity. A lot of you have been asking for an update to the deck, which I have been tinkering around a little bit with it. So we'll go ahead and get started, show you guys the update. Basically, for the Kuriboh deck, you got to run 3 Kuriboh. It's pretty standard. This is just one of the cards that a lot of plays revolve around this deck with. Same for Wing Kuriboh. I run 3 of each copy. Basically, you have a lot of spells in this deck, including Transcendent Wings, Detonate, Multiply, that all revolve around Kuriboh and Wing Kuriboh. So you want to make sure you have easy access to each one of these cards. And both of these cards allow for great stall throughout the whole game, so you can get your plays out. I also run 3 Wing Kuriboh level 10. He's your big game winner right here. If you can get his effect off when your opponent has a full field, you can pretty much hopefully set them up for a game win right there. A couple matchups I've gone up against, which this has been possible, is Karakuri. It's been pretty fun, actually. They set up their whole field with the Berets and the Beretos. A lot of the times they forget about level 10 being a thing. I'm just sitting on the Wing Kuriboh, and then they go pretty much attack. Okay, Transcendent Wings, Wing Kuriboh level 10, effect, tribute, blow up, game for me. They really don't see it coming. It's a lot of fun. I also run 3 Flame Valpoon. Pretty much this guy is, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 monster with 200 defense from your deck to your hand. So pretty much if I open up with this guy, I pretty much set him. He gets destroyed by battle pretty easily. Search for whatever I need for the play, Wing Kuriboh or Kuriboh. Helps out a lot to thin the deck. I'm also running now 2 Shining Angels. I like this card pretty much just for that extra stall for your plays. I can set Shining Angel, it gets destroyed, go for another Shining Angel if I need to, or even just a Wing Kuriboh. Because basically what I like about it is if I have the play set up, I can fake out my opponent into thinking, okay, I set the monster, they destroy it, it's like, okay, a Shining Angel. They don't know what to go from there. Comes out Wing Kuriboh during the battle phase, and then I Transcendent Wings like that. It's a lot quicker play style that I enjoy. Basically, the whole deck is defensive, so you do need to run some heavy hitters. I do run BLS, Chaos Sorcerer, and 1 Sky Scourge Invincible. It's really preference up to you. I like the Sky Scourge. It's got the tribute effect. Whether I tribute Wing Kuriboh or Kuriboh, it gets a effect based on whichever one I tributed. If you want to run 2 Chaos Sorcerer or 1 BLS, that's fine too. I found that that play style works just as well. But at the moment, I like 1-1-1. It's just pretty comfortable having a few heavy hitters that I can rely on to win the game for me. Plus, I run 1 Honest. You run plenty of lights in the deck, including Wing Kuriboh, so very easy to make use of that card. And 3 Swift Scarecrow, pretty much just for stall right there. That is it for the monsters. We'll move on to spells. I run 3 Flute of Summoning Kuriboh. This card's pretty standard. It searches out for Kuriboh or Wing Kuriboh from your deck, or you can add to your hand or special summon the specific card, whatever you need for the situation. In the last deck profile, some people asked why I didn't run 1-for-1. Pretty much because this card is a much better version of the 1-for-1. The big problem with this deck is keeping a hand consistency, and 1-for-1 really kills that. This card's pretty much just a real 1-for-1. You use the spell card to get the Wing Kuriboh or the Kuriboh, and you don't minus it all, which is why I prefer that over 1-for-1. And I also run 3 Transcendent Wings. This is for your OTK kill with Wing Kuriboh level 10. You want to make sure you draw into this card as quickly as possible. It's very easy to get Wing Kuriboh on the field or in your hand for this play. This card, however, has no searchability, no way to search it out, which is why you got to run 3, just so you can get the play quickly. The one thing you want to remember when you use Transcendent Wings, because sometimes people get carried away, they want to set up defense, yada yada, and then they realize, oh man, I only have 1 card in my hand, I can't get the play off. So you gotta be really careful when you're going around that. Think ahead a little, just saying, okay, I should be fine with this, I want to keep these 2 cards in my hand, I should be good from there. I also run 3 Detonate. This is pretty much what you can use with the normal Kuriboh. You tribute a Kuriboh or a Kuriboh token and destroy number of cards that your opponent controls up to the number of Kuriboh or Kuriboh tokens that you activate by this effect. I like this card because it's a quick spell, and pretty much every Kuriboh card is a quick spell. Flute, Transcendent Wings, Detonate, Multiply, they're all quick play spells, so I can activate all of them on my opponent's turn and really play around their moves, which is very nice. Detonate works really well with Multiply. At the moment, I'm only teching one Multiply in. It's a fun card to use, really swarms the field. I love when I open up Multiply, Detonate, and Kuriboh in my hand, so pretty much summon the Kuriboh, set the two. If my opponent gets some heavy plays off, I can really pop a lot. Most of the time, I like to keep the Detonate in my hand because I can chain the Multiply, but if they MST my Detonate, then I'm kind of stuck there because if they go first turn, 2 MST, there goes my play. I can at least chain the Multiply, have 5 Kuriboh tokens, and hopefully they won't run into all the Kuriboh tokens, and the next turn I can just activate the Detonate from my hand. Much easier that way. Going back and forth, it's really up to you preference-wise what you would prefer to run. If you want to go 2 Multiply, 2 Detonate, that's perfectly fine. At the moment, I'm comfortable with 3 Detonate and 1 Multiply just because Detonate does work with just an original Kuriboh if you just want to be able to pop one strong monster your opponent has on the field. I also run 2 Dark Eruption. This is just so I can reuse my Kuribohs. There are some situations where my opponent attacks with a very high attack point monster, and I have to use the Kuriboh, and let's say I have the hand set up that I wanted. Dark Eruption just helps so I can get the Kuriboh back to my hand so I can continue on with my plays. Plus 1 Day of Peace just for stall, and 1 Dark Hole. And for traps, I run 2 Graceful Revivals. This is basically just to get Winged Kuriboh and Kuriboh back onto the field for different plays. Same goes for 2 Call of the Haunted, just so I can have a lot of special summon power, and 1 Torrential Tribute. In terms of extra deck, I really do not enjoy running one with this deck, basically because I don't like having to overlay my Kuribohs into Exceed monsters just to protect myself. I like using them themselves to protect myself. But basically Slacker Magicians, any generic rank 1s you could think of would be the best idea for an extra deck choice with this deck. Let's say you already have your setup and you have extra Poons or stuff like that that you'd like to overlay with. That's the best example I can go with for that. And that's pretty much it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.